Do you think that the seed oils has been the number one contributor to obesity, and now we have a world that's obsessed with these weight loss drugs? Do you
Yes,
feel like there's a tie between those two?
100%. So chapter 3 of Dark Calories makes the connection there that again has never been made before. So I love bringing new science to the world. That's what I've been doing since my first book, Deep Nutrition. I love making sense of science. And because in my way, it's bringing people over to my thought of like, let's respect nature, right? That's why I
Yeah,
love
let's
doing this.
respect her. Yes, let's put her on the pedestal she
Belongs
deserves.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do they make us gain weight? Well, they make us hungry because they shift our metabolism. So that metabolic shift
Mm,
that I was talking about called insulin resistance, where we crave sugar, we crave it because our body fat has been corrupted. The chemistry of our body fat has been corrupted by the seed oils, and it no longer gives our brain the energy it needs
mm,
between meals. The whole job of our body fat is to serve up energy and fuel to all of our
yeah.
cells between meals. And the main sensor of the effectiveness or the fuel levels, if you will,
Mm,
in our body, the main sensor is right in our brain. So when our
right.
brain isn't getting energy, we have to take action. What is that action? Well, it makes us hungry and we eat, we
Yeah.
snack. So what we see with this obesity epidemic that almost nobody is talking about is a snacking epidemic. There are
Mm,
more people snacking now than ever in
mm,
history.
mm,
We have more people eating 5 and 6 times a day now,
mm,
according to the surveys on how often people are eating than ever in
mhm.
history, according to
Yeah.
these series of surveys that have been done over the past 10 years. It's very simple. What's complicated is understanding the chemistry and the biology of the connection, and that's what's in the book. If so people can really understand it, so they can see that there's really something here. I'm not just making these claims, but
Right.
that's the bottom line, is that when we've based our diet on seed oils and the amount that we now consume, we have totally corrupted our metabolism and the chemistry of our body fat. And that makes us snack. It makes us hungry.
Makes
And
us more hungry, yeah.
it makes us more hungry. And the foods that we eat are generally when we're in that state of, oh my
Mm,
God, I'm having a snack attack. I'm hangry. I need something now. We don't eat foods made from scratch. We eat
yeah.
more fast foods. And those foods do not have the cholesterol and the saturated fat and the things that satiate us. So we overeat those too, right?
Right.
So we're
Yeah.
doomed to gain weight on this
Yeah.
in this paradigm of seed oils are healthy. Just listen, don't listen to nature, just listen to the latest food recommendations from the latest set of academics who are getting all their money from big business.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I just saw an article this week that came out. I don't know when it was actually published, but it was showing that this is the way it was explained, that a high fat diet actually will shut down or no, will upregulate the bacteria that shuts off the production of GLP-1. So it's a high fat diet, right? You see the irony. So it's a high fat diet that upregulates bad bacteria, and that bad bacteria shuts off GLP-1. So now we're going to go give a bunch of these GLP-1 drugs to people to start to fix that system that was shut off by a high fat diet. So then I went into the study to try to find out, like, tell me what fats. And
Yeah,
we're still in the same conversation of lumping all fats together, and
of
they
course.
wouldn't break it. I couldn't find what fats they had looked at.
And that's the problem. And I guarantee you that it was the vegetable oils, because if there were
Yeah.
normal dietitians in there, and by normal, I mean not the very few who have adopted the keto diet, right? There's no dietitians who truly understand seed oils and their toxicity and the very things we are talking about. And I'm sure you've been now talking about to your audience for a while, since if you've been talking about seed oils since
Yep.
maybe the last time I was on or maybe
Forever,
before.
since the last time I've been talking about for years. And like when I told you when you came on, I'm like, we still have to go into this because people don't even realize what's happening to them with these seed oils.
Right. And dietitians have no idea. So when a dietitian is designing any nutrition study, when they design a high fat diet, they are not allowed. They are generally disallowed by their by the internal review boards to use butter and eggs and high like natural fat foods. So to make it, because they are cut by this 10% limit of saturated fat, you are, and their belief system is that more than 10% of of total calories coming from saturated fat is deadly, going to cause a heart attack. So they are bound by that mythological belief system that's been instilled in all of us now for reasons I talk about in Dark Calories. And it's so important to understand the story. But they don't know that story. They don't know the history of why these things are considered heart healthy. They would just believe they're heart healthy. So that's what they use. And so whenever you see a diet, unless it was in a study, unless a study involved a known low carb advocate, then you can read, you don't even have to dig around. You already know that they're not studying saturated fat and cheese, and they're disallowed from using that. And that's why they don't tell you, right? They don't, that's why there's a reason they don't disclose what's in the diet. I mean, don't you think that's wildly wrong and irresponsible and to just say high fat and not say, well, we're actually using vegetable oils that didn't exist before the industrial era, and we're depriving people of a whole set of foods that everybody used to eat until the American Heart Association made these false claims about cholesterol and heart healthy oils. So I think so. I mean, to me, that is just like so egregious.
Yeah. I spent a couple hours on this one article a few days ago trying to figure out, and reading a research study is not like picking up a juicy novel.
No, I know.
You have to like unpack the words and stuff, but I could not find anywhere that they separated the fat out.
Yeah, well, no, they don't. They on purpose. And so, Dr. Mindy, I'm just like, welcome to my world. This is what I
bet
have been doing. On I don't know how many hundreds, maybe thousands of these studies, and and then the debunkers out there, they say, well, you don't have any evidence that these oils are bad, and I'm like, that's because they hide it. Because when they talk about high fat diets being unhealthy, they're not disclosing what fat they are using. And I've dug around and successfully found the answer quite a few times, but it's not easy. You have to go down and track earlier studies, and then very often they will cite the exact tool that they are using, or the exact diet that they are using. And then you have to go and look that up elsewhere, and you have to have full text access to all this stuff. And you don't always guarantee to have full text access to all the journals in the trail of discovery that is necessary to get to the root of what they're actually saying. So, it's just so irresponsible for anyone out there who's in that healthcare space to say there's no evidence, because they haven't looked, they haven't tried themselves. They haven't done what you and I have been doing, spending countless hours going down these rabbit holes to find that they are not telling us something very, very important. The key thing.
They're hiding it. They're keeping it behind.